Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the USL Show. This is another interview that we're doing that you are hearing. That is just me, Kaylor. Again, just like last time, don't turn it off. I promise there's someone much more interesting than me to talk to. Before we get too far into it, as always, I want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Goals.tv. Thank you for sponsoring this episode, and thank you to our patrons, John Hunt, Frank Anthony, Aaron J., Christopher Cohn, Harry Austin, John Fuller, Michael Fuchs, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford, Alberto Aguilar, Jeremy Churchman, Stephen Howard, Rion Lacara, Tim Knox, NF 30, MOS, Kunal Patel. Thank you guys so much for help getting us to do what we do. Thank you for helping us financially, and thank you for helping us get out to Oakland, which is coming up in, as we record this, like 10 days, which is just surreal. And part of the reason I'm bringing that up specifically is because we are being joined by a very special guest. He is the current interim coach for the Oakland Roots, someone who's made his way around the United States for a while now as a professional player and also as an assistant coach, getting his first crack at a main gig here in the United States. The current USL Coach of the Month, Gavin Glinton. Gavin, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Kaylor. Thanks for having me, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Look, I just opened it up with it. You're the current Coach of the Month. How does that feel to kind of get that announcement through?
Yeah, I mean it's an honor. I mentioned before, like for me, it's a reflection of obviously first and foremost the players who've put in the work, but also our staff and all the people who work behind the scenes. So happy that we're on a high right now, but we got a lot more work to do.
Listen, you've played a long time. I mean, a lot of people would just love to have the longevity of your career. You went the college route through Bradley, and then you went through Chicago Fire, and then you went to the Galaxy, the Burn. Then you made your way to the Charleston Battery. Someone that I don't have you guys played them yet this year?
Yeah, we played them early, right after Indy.
So, I mean, that must be an interesting time to see a team that you played for and then, reconvening as a coach. Obviously, all those people are not there anymore, but the badge is the badge. It stays the same, even though I think it's changed actually since you've played there. But you've made your way through a lot of places. Unfortunately, Noah Delgado gets sacked before, in the middle of the season. How has your day-to-day changed from assistant coach to now head coach?
Yeah, I mean it's just a lot more. Obviously the complete team planning, taking on kind of the oversight, the week to week, the day to day, and then now utilizing the staff in the ways that I feel like they can be best utilized, and then yeah, just grinding. Right now trying to continue to build a culture where everyone's working and nose is down and heads down and keeps going. So right now it's been a lot. I've got a lot of good people right next to me, day in day out, who are working and supporting me in amazing ways. So it's business as usual right now. We don't have time to kind of think too much. We're just getting after it.
When this all happens with Coach Delgado, you've worked with him for a couple years now. It I'm sure it's a weird place for you to be in because you're being given the opportunity to be the interim coach, and this is a tryout period for you if you want to be the head coach at Oakland or another stop wherever that may be. But someone you've worked with for a long time also lost their job. What's kind of the emotional state that you were in when you first found out?
Yeah, I mean, it was really quickly that everything happened, but it's awful because at the end of the day, I'm a a good buddy and head coach was the job, but I'm also an assistant on the team that is underperforming at the time. So it's not that never just falls on one person, and we're all to blame for that state that we were currently in. So you know you don't have much time to to think about it. You just have to prepare for the next match. And for us, we had a quick match and then another midweek Open Cup game. So you have to, put your head down and keep going. It's a business, and you have to get to work right away. And the guys, we've talked about that, just being able to be resilient no matter what comes your way, and that's what we've had to do.
There are teams in the USL that have really excelled at doing the community first thing. I think a lot of people will think of your Detroit cities, your New Mexicos, but there's not many places in the country, in the world, that do it better than Oakland. If it's not in the 510, they don't want to deal with it. If you're San Francisco, yeah, that's San Francisco. If it's San Jose, that's San Jose. That's not Oakland. Coming some as someone who's was an outsider to Oakland and now being there for 2 years, what was that like just to get so enriched, into the Oakland roots, being truly rooted in Oakland?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Livermore. I grew up in the East Bay, so I grew up supporting Oakland teams. As soon as I kind of came to the country. So for me, this has been amazing. We went to A's games, Warriors games, the occasional Raiders game. So I'm very familiar with how passionate Oakland is, about its sports, but also how much sports and the community are intertwined. And so, obviously the Roots have come in and done, I think, a fantastic job, um, doing what a lot of historic clubs do, and making sure that they are tied to the community, and they are involved with the community, and connected to the community. So it's a special place, and I think it just fits the town where we're at, and how we do things. So I think it's a perfect fit.
You mentioned, living in the East Bay. Uh, it's something that's really interesting going on in Oakland with a lot of teams are unfortunately leaving. The Raiders aren't there anymore. The Warriors aren't there anymore. The A's are trying not to be there anymore. And the Roots have made it very abundantly clear that they are not going anywhere. For players that are not from Oakland, is there a conversation at all about being from Oakland, having pride for not just the badge, but the name Oakland itself? Or is that something they kind of pick up on as they, stay around the club for a while?
I think everybody who comes to the club is immediately kind of infected by the culture, the connection to the community, and how things are done here. It's not the same way, which is it's just as important. I think there's a lot of players who take a real connection to that, and an embrace to that, and they connect right away, even if they are from out of town. They gravitate pretty quickly. So it's just kind of the infectious nature of the town, which is why it's special and important that the club has been so committed to staying in Oakland when, like you said, so many other people are trying to leave.
There's a lot of players that have really shown out for you guys, especially as you guys have gone on this hot streak. We talked about him pretty recently. Camden Riley is someone who has really fully broken out of his shell since coming from San Diego Loyal. What kind of growth have you seen from Camden?
I think, I mean, with a lot of our players, we've asked them to do a lot of different things, and their ability to not only take it on, but to actually really commit and thrive to what we've been asking, has been incredible. Cam specifically, he's been big for us in the midfield when asked to come into the center back position. He's done fantastic there. He's been there for our last two shutouts. He's played, right wing back. But it's just kind of a testament to everybody, and a good representation of what all of our players are have been asked to do, and how they've committed to doing it. So Cam's been big for us. His intelligence and his ability to read the
Uh,
game is big.
Since you've taken over, a lot of USL fans, I think, know Oakland, or before he took over, they knew Oakland as just traditionally they played three at the back, right? They went from Juan Guerra, and then they go to Noah Delgado, who they really go to that three at the back. And since you've kind of come in, the 4-2-3-1 has been kind of the flavor of of the Roots recently. Was there something that you saw as either an assistant or once you got your hands on as the head coach that made you think maybe this will work a little bit better? Or was it just tinkering over time and you said, let's just try this and it worked?
Yeah, I think we've been pretty flexible and pretty dynamic with how we've tried to approach it. We've played the majority of our recent matches in the four, but we're comfortable in the three, and I know that, and so that's a place we can always go to, and we have, and depending on the day, will. So yeah, I just we hadn't done four in a bit, and I think it gives us a little bit more in some different areas, and so it's worked well. But like there's been matches where we've had to play three or four different formations in a match, and that's again credit to the guys' versatility and being able to understand what we need when we need and make adjustments. So we want to be able to be unpredictable, so we'll continue to work through.
We mentioned or I mentioned earlier that, we're coming out to do our first ever on site show, and that is going to be Oakland versus Sacramento. And not just that, CBS is going to be there as well. I'm just saying we announced we were going first. We're not saying we're trendsetters, but we did do it first. But to be on national television with CBS against a Northern California rival in Sacramento, a team that has been one of the class clubs since they have entered the USL. Is there a different kind of buzz in the locker room already kind of looking forward to it?
No, no, and I don't mean that to disrespect anything about the magnitude of that match. Right now, we're focused on Pittsburgh this weekend. There's only one game that we have on the schedule, and that's this weekend. They are as big as an opponent as we're going to have, and that would be absolute nonsense to even start thinking about next week and to overlook Bob Lilly's squad, who's just on the verge. So we know we have a big match this weekend. After we get through this, we'll start to prepare the same way we always do.
Let's talk about that Bob Lilly kind of matchup and with the Riverhounds. Bob Lilly has been kind of the face of coaching consistency kind of in the United States. You don't see coaches get the leash that he does, and the way he does things is kind of notoriously different than other coaches do it. But the Riverhounds are just so consistent year in and year out. I'm not asking you to give away your ideas and and what tactics you're going to be doing, but do you prepare for a Bob Lilly team different than you would other clubs?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, he's earned everything he's been able to achieve, and the leash that he's gotten. That's without question. Yeah, I think there is obviously always a there's a big excitement as a coach being able to go up and challenge yourself against somebody as accomplished as Bob Lilly, and his teams have always done well. Even now, uh, their record is lying. They're we look at them. I look at them as a sleeping giant, and they're just a tick or two away from changing things. So again, this is another big opportunity. They are a difficult team to play against as well. They always are, and they're going to be at home. So for us, we look at it as an amazing opportunity to be able to test ourselves against again a perennial class organization and team. So,
I want to talk about just your background a little bit more. And you're please correct me if I mess up the pronunciation of it, but you are still, I believe, the all-time leading goal scorer for Turks and Caicos. Um,
no, it's
yeah,
got to be
no,
it's Billy
or
Forbes for sure. It's definitely Billy
Billy
Forbes.
Forbes now.
Yes, it's got to be Billy Forbes.
Okay, so but at the you still came in and played very well for club, right, or for country. Um, being able to represent your country and represent just any time you can put on a nation's badge, how different is that than playing just for club?
Yeah, it's the pinnacle. I mean, we're a small country, but even being able to win our very first World Cup qualifier on home soil is a memory that I will never forget. It's always special. I was able to put on the U.S. jersey once or twice as a youth. Um, so it's just I think for me it's always the pinnacle of football. There's a passion there that just can't be rivaled. I know that the professional game is the professional game, and the quality is completely there. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I still find the World Cup to be the greatest footballing competition that exists. And yeah, there's always something special when you put on your country's jersey.
Someone who is in your squad that is always seems to be getting the call up for country and has been in the USL for a long time. That is everyone adores that has ever met him. Nabil Hagshaw is with you guys and has been captain. Someone who's been a veteran in the league so long, being able to be in your back line. What's it been like working with Nabil?
Yeah, he's been big for us. Obviously, his performances over the past 2 to 3 months have been, I think, uh, amazing. I think it's actually. I was just telling him today. I think it's a shame that he hasn't been up for Team of the Week um, recently, because he's done well against a lot. In the back line against a lot of quality forwards in teams recently. So his ability to not only lead the team on the field, but connect with the guys and lead them off the field, and be jovial, and come to work every day with a smile on his face. Is big for the group. It's big for the locker room, obviously, and you've seen how big he's been on the field for us.
I know you don't want to look forward to the Sacramento match too much because hey, the Riverhounds are on, what are next and you should focus on that. But your last meeting with them with the Sacramento Republic was one of the most entertaining matches for the neutral. I'm sure it was not as entertaining in the moment for you being able to walk out with a 3-2 win in a place that is as hard to win as Sacramento, what did that kind of do for club morale?
I think that obviously the guys went in with belief, but you come out anytime you come out with a win in Sacramento, you're going to come out with more belief than when you went in. You know how difficult it is to play that team, how good they've been, and how tough it is to play them at their place. And so for the guys to walk out with their first 3 points on their turf is it's a big confidence booster going forward towards the rest of the year, and it's kind of spurred them on to with what we can do week in, week out. So yeah, we've had a couple of big wins, but I think that the guys believe that they belong. So right now it's just about keeping our heads down and not getting ahead of ourselves. This league is very, very tight, very, very tough, and 4 weeks everything can change. So even less in the West right now. So yeah, we've gotten some wins, but we've just gotten ourselves back into a place where we can compete, and that's what we're excited to do.
You know, to really solidify your coach of the month honors, you guys get a 1-0 win over Louisville City, another team who has been the class of the USL since they have joined. Um, Again, you guys just when I watched the match, yes, it was 1-0 and it's a close score line, but it never felt like you guys fully lost control of the match. And a lot of that's to do with your home fans. With one of the most unique stadium setups of just a giant wall on one side, you get to have a front row seat to look at the entire time. How just intimidating is that just giant wall of Oakland fans when they're really in it?
I mean, they're loud. They're always in it. They travel well, but obviously home is a special place for us. It's just a credit to our fans, and like we say, the people of Oakland. Like it doesn't really matter where we end up playing. They'll make it home, and they'll make it a fortress. And they show up, and they've turned it in to a wall. They don't even need a surrounding fan stand to make it a loud, boisterous place, which is fantastic. And I say day in, day out, they give our players energy, and we try our best to reciprocate it back to them because they really are a big 12th man, especially at home. So
Before I let you go tonight, I really do appreciate you hopping on and chatting with us. Um, Oakland has gotten, this is more or less from my own research, and anybody who wants to go to an away day to Oakland. Um, Oakland has gotten the reputation of being one of the best just food and just culture scenes in all of the United States. What's a place that you hit regularly out in Oakland?
ooh, regularly, there's Mintos, there's the Jamaican spot in downtown, there's Parche, there's a Colombian spot. Uh, Also downtown, but there's just a number of little spots. There's some great Vietnamese spots over here, just over under the bridge in Alameda as well. Um, I cook a little bit as well, so and people around here cook. So yeah, yeah, just I think those few are are fantastic, and there's a lot of other places. There's a great Puerto Rican place that's on the other side of the training center that's brilliant. So yeah, and everything you could possibly want, you can get here, and it's good.
Any good coffee spots? Are you a coffee guy?
I'm not gonna lie, my strength and conditioning coach, Marquise Cardial and Peter Davis, our goalkeeper coach, are complete coffee snobs. But I'm actually I couldn't tell you the difference between anything. I do drink it though to stay awake and work.
So you just grab whatever is around, and they can't stand it.
No, no, they don't even. To be honest, they don't even involve me. Like that's how snobbish they are. They don't even involve me in their coffee discussions. They'll look right past me, talk right beyond me to go and invite each other to coffee to make each other coffee. That's just that's where it is. I gotta just get in where I fit in.
Hey, you know what? Maybe because I'm a big coffee guy, might have to bug them just a little bit. Especially, you guys have your own coffee blend now. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I have seen that, and that was a good opportunity. But they haven't. That's what I'm saying. They haven't even offered me any to try. They took it themselves, and they've been drinking. I have no idea what Marquise has done with it, but I'll let you know if he ever gets me a chance to take a sip.
Did you see the video with Paul Blanchett not being able to save absolutely anything before the coffee? Were you privy to that video?
No, I have no social media other than the stuff I lurk on through friends. So I had no idea, but I will go check it out when I get an opportunity.
All you need to know is that Paul is the best actor I think you guys have at the club. Absolutely just Emmy award winning.
I have a feeling you're being sarcastic, but I'm gonna go check it out for sure.
Oh man. Gavin, man, it was an absolute blast to talk to you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I know you have an early morning tomorrow. Have an absolute blast. Have a good trip out to Pittsburgh. Wishing you the best and everybody the best health possible, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'll see you next weekend, right?
Next weekend, we'll be there.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me, Kaylor. All the best.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.